Bobby's out.
Yeah.
He's out with it. Samantha's out.
So you're gonna hit the share screen, and then this is already open, so you're just gonna click on that, and then hit share, and it's
I
gonna,
got five, so I don't know.
and then you're gonna see that it's on the screen, so this is. And so you may have to zoom, scroll up or whatever. And then when you're done with that, I'll tell you to stop sharing, and you hit this little red button right here, and you hit that, and it goes back to your big screen. Okay? So.
Yeah.
Have any questions? It's pretty much the
Just making
There's
sure,
Carolyn.
whatever reason, you can, I don't know why it did that, but I just wanna make sure you can unmute yourself.
Carolyn,
Yes, yes, I can. Hello.
we see
I'm
James.
unmuted. Hi there.
We got Brent here, we're gonna tie him up.
Okay, good. Yeah, he's a good one. Don't let him go.
As the person is talking and you scroll over, it says ask to
James.
unmute, you're gonna have to click that. And, so then we're probably.
James, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Got you.
Oh, there he is. Well,
Thank you.
No.
Laura's on there yet, or do you know?
Oh. Try to get everything, okay?
I don't see James.
I'm right here.
Okay, I hear you. There you are. Now I see you.
All right. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing well. Doing well. Thank you.
Good.
Yes, sir, the
We'll know.
only two that are, we don't have any others. There's an iPhone adding to the room, so we'll see who that is. So this is the Bobby.
They're following.
I can't see.
Okay, Carolyn, what you
Yeah.
have to change it to gallery view, all right? You probably have it on speaker view. So if you have, there's a little box that has four little,
Got it.
and then you'll see gallery view, you'll see up to 4 people on your
Yeah.
iPad. And then you'll just to the left and you'll see the rest.
I've got it. Yeah. Thank you. I guess, yeah.
Bobby, how are you feeling?
Hello, Bobby.
Hey, everybody, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Bobby.
How are you feeling?
I feel okay. I feel better this afternoon, actually. I'm ready to come back to work. Angela won't let me come back.
Imagine.
Oh, you had fun?
Got it? Okay. So we're already on? So you're already, so the only thing that you have to do is 5:55, which is in a minute, is Christmas stuff right here to record. You're not playing, but we are.
Get you a show.
Yeah.
You're
I am.
gonna have other people, so you're gonna have to watch it and be added.
It's not working.
And
I hear
then,
about 15 kills, there's only one car in the parking lot. I was here.
I don't
I don't know what's going on, are you gonna go right day? They called me this morning, I feel like.
Hey, girl,
Hey, Dolores.
all right, so I need for you. Go to my iPad, this is representative. No, I don't. We have 3 members, that's all. Unless we have another Zoom, unless we have another Zoom person on site. Yeah, she's not online. And you just have to-
Carolyn, you may have it yourself.
You're gonna sign.
You may have it the whole end of the.
That's
thing
good.
yourself.
I think I'm gonna go over here. Is that okay?
Y'all doing okay?
Mike will sign here, here, this form up and walk up in. Yeah, go ahead and start recording. And then, you're recording and we're already live on YouTube. And you're back to work. Or make sure your contract on. Well, yes, and when you're ready, then you'll do the green button right here to share. And then, yes, be careful when you do that, you go off on the screen, so don't, yeah. So, and then right here, you just touch this right here. Where it says rename, is that rename? Yes, it is. And then type here, Terry. That's okay. Alicia, awesome, perfect, awesome. So when they go into. The zoning, get printed to the zoning, it has a different zoning. I thought I sent,
Hey, Chief. Yeah, he's good, sir.
Hey, Michelle, how are you? Yes, you are.
You're like, yeah, it's gonna work there.
I didn't know if you knew that.
She's gonna be my kid. Floral.
We haven't recorded it yet, or anything. Just FYI. What do you say, Danny? Hey. Hey, my old buddy. How y'all doing? All right. For you to let him, she wants to. Yeah. Hey, Laura.
Hello.
Taking yours.
I did, Doris.
How are you?
Good. How about you?
All right, young lady.
Good deal.
Can everyone on Zoom hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's get this meeting. Everybody rise. I'm gonna ask
You needed to.
some prayer.
Most gracious and heavenly Father, we come with bowed heads and humble hearts. Father, we come to you as humble as we know how. Father, we ask that you put this hedge of protection around our city. Father, we got people that are sick, that are hospitalized, that are afraid. Father, we ask that you give us courage and give us understanding, Father, that we can make ends meet. Father, we ask that you bless this council, Father, that we can meet tonight and we can make sound judgment, good decisions. Father, we ask that you bless our city employees, Father. A lot of them are sick, a lot of them are ailing. Father, we just ask that you touch them right now and heal their bodies. Give them strength and courage that you need. We ask that you bless all the ones that have found hospitalized, that lost loved ones. Father, we got a lot of hurt in our city, in our surrounding areas. Father, we just ask that you give us strength and courage, Father, that we can continue to love and continue to live, Father. This is our prayer. In your Son, Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Amen.
When you face a flag and salute the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the
United States of America.
republic which stands one nation,
Liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance
To be Texas,
to the state, God,
one and indivisible.
I'd like the record to show that we have a full quorum. James, Marilyn, and Dolores are on Zoom. Marilyn, Danny, and myself are here at City Hall. Y'all can all hear us, James, Dolores?
Yes.
Yeah.
James,
James is muted, I think.
James, can you hear? I want to thank the zoning commission for being with us tonight. We're going to have a joint meeting or a joint hearing. I suppose we can go ahead and open the public hearing. Okay. Who's? Okay. Henry, you want to open?
We do have a quorum, thanks to about 15 reminders. Thank you, ladies. We do have a quorum, and we will open the meeting at the time.
We just didn't want to do this a third or fourth time.
I know, I appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, the public hearing is open. Does anyone here have anything to say?
Basically, all it is gonna be just, to change the zoning from public, as it was originally zoned. It's got a cemetery and church, but it also has, residential in there and mixed use. We need to change that, to something other than public to legally allow people to move in. So that is the purpose of the public hearing, is to see if anybody has any issues with that. If not,
All the zoning, y'all all had a chance to look at what they're going to do. Mike, y'all all looked at that and know what.
Oh, yeah, about 4 times.
we're ending the public hearing at 6:06.
Mike, y'all want to go back in the,
Mr. Mayor, we just met
okay,
and we have unanimous consent for.
okay. Thank you, Mike, I appreciate that.
Let the zoning commission know that the item on your agenda for the minutes will be tabled to the next meeting. Just on your agenda, the first item for action is approve the minutes. Those are not ready, so we're adding that to the next meeting. So that item will be tabled. Can I get a motion for that?
I can't understand what you said with that mask.
We have a motion in a second.
Okay, so Cheryl and Isha, okay.
Where we vote?
The table.
Take the minutes to the next.
And then who makes the motion to make the final recommendation?
Make a motion that we approve the recommendation. Go from public to.
Okay, and then who makes a second? We can now.
Okay. Okay, council, we're gonna jump to item 8. Carolyn, y'all understand today that the zoning commission's agreed that we need to do what we need to do. We're gonna
Yeah.
skip item 8, consideration and possible action on the final recommendations from the zoning commission on ordinance amending the city comprehensive plan and rezoning parcels from zone public to mixed use district. Anyone have any questions?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to go ahead and make a motion since the zoning has already been reviewed. I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that these ordinance.
And I'll go ahead and second it.
We have a motion from Marilyn and a second from Danny. Any other discussion, council? Carolyn, James, Dolores?
No, I'm
No.
good.
I think probably I'm gonna ask you to say yes or no
Okay,
when we make the vote.
okay, that's good.
All those in favor of this motion, just say yes or no. Carolyn?
Yes.
Yes,
Dolores?
Yes.
James?
James, you're muted, so if you want to raise your hand that you're voting yes, or, okay.
Okay. Danny, you did, so it's unanimous.
Yes.
And just for the record, all zoning members voted on the motion. Everyone voted aye. And for the motion for ordinance, everyone voted aye. Okay. So that we have it on record.
They can, y'all.
Motion to adjourn.
We adjourn.
Second,
Ms. Driver, okay, and then Brent second, okay. Great, so y'all are adjourned at 6:09. And before you leave, Mr. Henry, if you'll sign a form by Lindsay Oh, you already did it? Oh, awesome. Bye, thank y'all very much for coming.
Hey, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all are staying. Might get in.
And then
Okay, this item 4 is public comments. Any person has anything to say to the council tonight? Got 3 minutes.
Mayor, I did not receive any requests, by email. I don't see any Zoom questions. So I would say that no one has any public comments at this time.
Okay, we're gonna go to item 5, is update on Open Meetings Act change effective tomorrow, 2021. I'm assuming this is saying we can't meet on Zoom anymore unless the governor changes his mind. Because he's saying September the 1st, we have to resume, meetings.
Bobby, you're muted if you wanted to speak. Yes, that is correct. Unless I did include the snippet, from, Ken Paxton's website, where the governor has repealed the availability to use Zoom for virtual meetings. So effective September the 1st, all meetings must now conform to the Texas Open Meetings Act, which states that in order for a quorum to be, established, the members must be physically present at the meeting. This is, of course, subject to the governor changing the law, but as of right now, he has not changed the law, so this is what we have to go with. So this will be our last meeting that we'll be able to have council attendance by Zoom.
We don't have to.
And there's no way around it.
No, sir, the governor, it's the governor's requirement. There's no way around it. Otherwise, we'll be in violation of the Texas Open Meetings Act, and we're not allowed to do that.
Just for the record, Mayor, they did indicate a number if you have questions, so that might be a possible thing to do.
Well, and he may change his mind by, tomorrow he may, as rapid as some of this is spreading, I feel like he'll probably reconsider, but we don't know that.
Right, and so all we have to do is just go by what we have now. We wanted to make sure that council was aware of that and the reason why, and it's not a staff decision, so.
Okay.
Any other questions? Go ahead, John.
So until after tomorrow, then we all now come in for our meeting physically.
By
What the governor says, right? No Zoom.
I don't know that we have one tree court.
yeah.
Hey, what if someone is sick and they have the COVID or whatever? They still got to come in and infect someone else?
No, ma'am, you would have to stay home.
Yeah.
But then is that person gonna be counted absent? And we're
Won't
We're
get to-
asking serious questions. We're just trying to get a better understanding. If that person is sick and they come in and infect someone else because they can't be on Zoom anymore, how do we work that?
Well, like I say, the law is the law. I don't know, Dolores, unless he changes it tomorrow, or he may have changed it today. We don't know. But the attorney general is the one that said that we had to go back to meeting in person. I think it would just mean that if you feel like you can't be here, you just won't be here. Then hopefully we will have a quorum. Is the way I look at it. But things can change. This COVID is changing, so I feel like that decision may change too.
Thank you, sir, for your reasonable answer. I liked that one. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other discussion on item 5? I don't think we have to vote on it because it's law.
That's
Okay.
just an update.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is a consent agenda. Has everyone had a chance to look at the consent agenda?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Is consider approval of annual TxDOT grant for routine airport maintenance. Consideration and possible action on approval of a consent to encroachment from overhang on the right of way of location marked on the map, the old Campbell building. Is there any discussion on these two items?
No, not from me.
Mr. Mayor, if there are no questions, no discussions, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda item number 6 and 7.
And I'll second that, sir.
Danny made the motion, Marilyn seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Carolyn,
Yes,
James, Dolores,
Yes.
Yes,
Danny, and Marilyn.
Yes.
Item 8, we'll get taken care of. Item 9 is a budget workshop, number 4 for year 21-22. If needed, I'm assuming Leslie's gonna tell us a few things or.
And then at the bottom it says share screen, you can choose the PowerPoint. So that's all. And then click share. And then, so I have to start the show. Yeah. No, the last is the Zoom control. Just to start from the beginning.
Leslie, the only thing you need to change is tell us what has changed since we met last, because if we went through this.
Yes, sir. I can stop at where I can just go and say, none of these slides have changed. You can review, have any questions, and I'll go over the changes. Okay. So good evening, Mayor and council members. So now I'll be going over budget workshop number 4. It would work if I would turn. Okay. Okay, so this is a list of change proposed budget A. The preliminary revenue stayed the same as discussed in the previous workshop. Total revenues with changes is almost at 9 million for revenues. The changes for the preliminary expenditures is gonna be item number 16, which is police evidence room, additional for $50,000. That's the total change in expenditures, 547,859, making the total expenditures with changes to 9.3 million.
Now, Chief, I want him to come up just a minute and talk about the evidence.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. We originally had asked to try to construct a 60 by 60 metal structure type evidence room, a building in the back of the police station. That's about 6,000 square foot is what we were originally looking at. Council had only originally budgeted 100,000. We had a local contractor take a peek and give us some prices, and he came in at around 110,000 and said he could do a metal type building similar to what is at the airport at the hangars. We then went out and started searching around for architects that have made or constructed the evidence buildings in the past and were pretty professional in it. And of course, they had a lot of other ideas about making sure that the building was structurally sound. And they did have a lot of valuable information that does make sense, because that would be the last thing that the city of Cleveland or the police department would want to have, is an embarrassment of someone trying to breach the security of the building. And some of the ideas that they brought forth to the table really made a lot of practical sense and professional sense that we should try to work toward. Of course, on Monday, the 30th, we met again with the architect on the phone, Angela, Bobby, and myself did a Zoom meeting with them. And they're still talking price-wise, about 200 a square foot, $200 a square foot. And of course, trying to get the building where we want it would probably reduce the square footage with the amount of funding that has been put forth. Bobby has seen fit, and with his financial work, has seen fit to where we can maybe add additional monies to what we already have on the table at the 300,000, around 300,000, to try to make a more suitable building, which we had thought about maybe doing some changes on what we had originally proposed, maybe keeping like drug evidence in the original vault where it's at now inside the police station, and maybe the larger items and things that are kind of bulky, putting in this building if we had to reduce the size. But that is something that we could really think about. Fencing, cameras, maybe alarm systems, and having that building totally enclosed with fencing, hardening the inside walls, staying with a metal type structure, maybe having a brick frontage that would help match the front of the police station, that wouldn't look so out of class, but something that would look really nice on the front. But we're talking about trying to build something for the future. I would say that it would be nice to have the 60 by 60 instead of trying to reduce the building to a smaller size, looking at growth down the road. Of course, understanding that our building is 20 years old that we're in now, and the price that originally was given by the architect was around 1.5 million, and you can almost build a police station or something. But again,
Daryl, that we may think about, we need a substation or annex or whatever you want to call it, maybe out towards.
yes, sir. Those days are coming as well. Yes, sir.
And we could, what's the difference in what you're wanting and what? I know what we had, the 150 or, what with the 50,000, let's say, what does that give us to the building?
36 square feet building.
I mean, how much are we putting into the?
I heard you say 300,000.
Yeah, 300,000.
That's
So
the
it's-
50.
Right.
So can I explain the next slide real quick? So this is the 50,000, so the carryover for fiscal year 2021 would be the 100,000. Then you have the proposed budget that we have the 150, which that was already included in the balanced budget. So we would only need 50,000 additional for the 1,500 square feet.
What do you think there?
Well, I think this would put us closer to what we're trying to do, is have a very nice building that would help with growth, not only allowing us just to settle with something and having to reduce the size. After even having a Zoom meeting on yesterday, Mr. Randall Scott, the architect, is even looking to try to seek local contractors to help reduce some of the costs that he would have in the Garland area working this way. So he's trying to find some local contractors and subcontractors that may help reduce some of the costs on their end. And of course, there's a lot of architectural fees and small sample things that he spoke on, and that is going to have to be done. That comes in at a pretty decent figure, 12% for them as well.
Okay, that would be added on to for the 300,000?
No.
Architect?
No.
Included?
That would all be included, but it would be for how many square feet? 1,500?
1,500.
And we need to be bigger than that.
We were seeking 6,000 square foot in the beginning. And
Right. And I agree with that, Chief.
Yeah.
I think that's what you need to have. And I agree with that, Richard, that's what we need to go ahead and do and get done for him and for our police department.
What do you think, Carolyn, can we do what we do and then if we build another police station, or you think we ought to go ahead and spend, what would it be? 600?
I think we need to go ahead and do this one. And then when it comes time to do another one, we should be in a position that we can do that also. by then we'll have all this extra income from all the extra houses and everything, businesses and everything that's coming. So,
Thinking, Carolyn, that possibly we would be doing an annex or, and build additional storage there even for evidence. But the $300,000, is everybody happy? Are you gonna be happy with that, Carolyn?
I think that would help put us right where we need to be at, having a really nice building, a bathroom, HVAC, as well as additional office.
And that's what you've got, Leslie?
Yeah, I have another slide.
right.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, so. So I was mentioning, the 1,500 square feet evidence room, the carryover would be the 100,000. We already proposed the 150,000, and then we need additional 50, that would bring us to the $300,000, for just the regular size. This is still budget 8. So let me just go over the total revenues are the 8.9, almost 9 million. Total expenditures will be the 3.3. And revenues over expenditures would be the 313,000. Fund balance ending would be almost $5 million. So I just want to point out that we would use from fund balance that 313,619 for that, the first budget aid that I'm proposing. So we move on. And
Which one?
here, yes, ma'am?
Mayor, and I hear you, but I am agreeing as well for that 6,000, is that 6,000 square feet you were saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Would this include, and I heard you say it was not including the fees, but the fencing and the camera, I heard you say something about the fencing and the camera.
I think that would help
Be hardened or,
harden the security of that building to prevent any type of breach or what we call chain of custody type episodes occurring there. So I think it would help to certify that it's going to be very well secured with fencing and cameras and possibly an alarm system.
And fireproofing, would there be fireproofing, or because you might have certain materials in there or certain items that, or the smaller items, you still suggesting to put them in the.
Right, some of the more sensitive type items, I'd say would probably be kept inside the primary building.
How big is the room in the primary building? How many square feet is that?
It's very tiny. We arranged our classroom into what we call our main evidence vault now. It's probably no more than, I would say, probably 1,200 square foot at the most.
I bet it's not even that, but we thought it was pretty big at the time when we were doing it.
Yes, right. The whole building is 11,000 square foot.
Yeah.
Yes, the whole building, the entire building.
Well, I'm thinking we do as well, because I do see the growth, and I think we just basically face the substation at the time that we really need that. I think we need to just go ahead and accommodate the police department with the space that they need at this time.
I agree with that.
I think everybody agrees. Carolyn?
I do for the larger space is what I'm saying. Is that what y'all are saying? To
Yeah.
getting the 6,000 feet? I can't hear everything you're saying, but I think we're saying the same thing, but I want to make sure that we're getting the larger building that we need.
That would be getting us where we need to be for the larger building.
Correct. Yeah,
We have
that'd be
about 3
great.
different spots that we actually have evidence stored. Mr. Cliff Dunn, when he was living and they built that building, he did an add-on in our sally port that took up some of the sally port. There was also another room that we have enclosed for temporary holdover of evidence. So when you add all those spots together, it is pretty congested even now. So I think the 6,000 feet would give us exactly right at what we're needing and would give us room for growth.
I have one last question. So,
Perfect.
in that 300,000 that you mentioned, that was for the 15, the smaller size? So do we know what the larger?
Yes, I'm gonna.
It's gonna be an addition.
Okay.
Okay, so this slide just shows the large, I shouldn't have put large, but it was just a traditional evidence room, the 1,500. Where is it? At the bottom. Right here, the 50.
Page you on, where she is.
I see it now.
Okay, so now we're gonna do, the budget B, which shows the large police evidence room and the apron hangar. So the large evidence room is double the size, so it's 3,000. And that's the 350,000. And then we have the apron hangar for Stevens agreement for 56. Remember we talked about this, last meeting, that I was gonna put it in here?
So what is the price for the larger one?
Okay, so it's 600,000.
Okay, that's.
So we have the carryover, once again, the 100,000. And then we have the proposed budget at 150, and then we need additional funding to make up the difference and pay for that 600,000.
Do we think we
Correct.
can do it for less than that, Darryl? I mean, if somebody like Bob Bartlett builds it or something, do you think we can do it for less than that?
We're waiting, Mr. Randall Scott was going to speak with the name, we call him, that's why they not calling any names, the contractor, but he was gonna speak with several local contractors to see what the numbers, and he was gonna get back with Bobby with some numbers. And hopefully they would be lower.
Knowing ours, though, they'll probably be higher.
Yes.
Thank you, Daryl.
Thank y'all for considering, I really do.
Thank you.
Okay. The next is the pictures that, you requested of the airport hangars, the apron.
Okay.
Here's, one of ours, and here's Mr. Stevens. It's getting assembled at the airport. If we go with option B, the total revenues over expenditures, would double, and it would be, we would have to use $669,619 from fund balance. Fund balance ending at 4.5 million. We still have a reserve of the 25% at 2.4 million, and then we have excess cash of 2.1.
Bobby, what's your thinking on this, on the they don't pay for itself
Yes, sir.
over, what, 10 years? Is that what?
Yeah,
7 years.
it pays, it will. Yeah, it'll pay for itself within 10 years. The original agreement, when I calculated, I think it came to around 7-year payback, but it didn't include the apron. So Mr. Stevens said that he would go ahead and build the apron, but he would like for the city to help out. And, you know, I mean, he's taking all the risk in building the hangar now. So it'd just be nice if we could get the apron on the south side of that so we can go ahead and get that operational.
And he wants us to do that, Bobby? Is that what you're saying? He wants us to build an apron?
Yes, ma'am, because he's taking the risk in the building and the foundation and everything.
And I didn't understand, Leslie, but what is the cost of the apron?
56,000, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
56, right?
Okay. Yeah, I agree. We need to get that done for sure.
Yeah, I think we should do it.
And so Leslie, the spreadsheet that has the option B, if we include the hangar and the $600,000 evidence room project, is the excess balance still at 2.1, almost 2.2, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So that's
we can
2
do it.
almost $2.2 million is still available above a 3-month reserve. So we're still very healthy.
Okay. Good deal.
Everybody agree on that we should do that, the
Yes.
paving around the Maryland?
Yes.
Yes, I just got a comment.
Go ahead.
We're all in agreement on this, as far as contractors, the time, how long it's gonna take, is this gonna be a concrete price? You know, 'cause they always come back wanting more money, you know, and all the stuff that we approved last year, a lot of it's not done. You know, we have the money and we approve it, you know, let's get it done.
Yeah.
You know, but it seems like that, you know, for some reason, when we try to do something, they just drag their feet and drag their feet and drag their feet. And everybody else, you know, I don't think Conroe, Kingwood, or Woodlands, I don't think they had the problem that we have, but for some reason, we just kind of get dumped on. And, we just really need to hold their feet to the fire and put something in those contracts about the time frame. You know.
Does David listen? David? Okay.
And I totally agree with that, Mayor, and not only that, I think we would need someone to monitor and
Correct.
basically keep up with what they're doing and the things that they're not doing that they had promised to do to make sure that, as you said, they feet to the fire.
Just like on these past projects, the civic center and the splash pad, some days they'll show up to work, and then they don't show up to work, then only 2 people show up. I mean, you know, we need to have somebody that's on top of them and just making sure that we getting what we're paying for. And I don't think that's asking too much.
No, and I've talked to Bobby, and I think we all agree.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of projects that we need to get done. And we need to be able to look and to say, hey, we've done all this.
Yeah.
And not say, hey, well, it's put off because of this or that, or. Let's go ahead.
Okay, so this slide just shows the large police evidence room and the apron hangers. And the other list has been, discussed last, budget meeting. This is the same, all of this, Mayor, I know you told me to let you know, and so starting with this slide, everything else, we have already discussed and agreed on the changes. So if y'all don't have any questions for me about,
Do the council have anything, Carolyn or James or Dolores?
Yes, is the new police department included in, like next year or year after next? Because we do need a state-of-the-art police department.
No, ma'am, not now. The fire department is,
I know,
not the police, not this year's budget. Because we're gonna probably talking
No,
5
I don't
million.
like that word future. I might not be here in the future.
Well,
We hope you would.
That's true, we may not have any of us. But no, that's not in this year's budget. I mean, we blow our budget big time.
No, I said for next year or the year after next, if we had it coming.
I think we need to discuss it next year for sure.
Okay,
Our next year's budget, or if we need to go out for some more money on a bond.
A bond or a grant.
But I think that we're in good shape. I think if a lot of these things keep happening and keep growing, I think we can probably go in for another. Bobby, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, so the plan is in possibly 2024, when we have Pendleton's development that'll be over there on 105 in Fostoria. He has already verbally stated that he would gift us some land. My thought is that we have a public safety facility off of Fostoria Road. And that public safety facility would be next to Fire Station 3. That would help with coverage area. So to answer the question, yes, I do believe that we need a state-of-the-art facility, and that would be the time to look at it, make sure that we've got good coverage over there and off of Fostoria Road and Pinewood Trails.
Right. Well, we need to get that fire station built, and hopefully we're in the process of getting that done.
Correct. The design is completed on that. Design is completed on that, and we're supposed to move dirt in November, I believe.
Great. Good job.
Any other discussion? Anybody have anything else on this budget?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Item number. Number 13, recreation specialist. Just been looking at that. And
Where's that?
Number 13. You know, my question is, and I touched on it last meeting, you know, how many kids do we have to work with? What are the expectations? And the people that we have in those positions now, are they flooded with work that they can't handle it? And some of that stuff our library is already doing. You know, I'm not saying don't have it, but I just wish that we would really look at it and just see, you know, is that feasible at this time?
The 46,000.
Yes, sir. It is feasible, and the fact that it's already part of the budget. So we're converting a position that we already have as an event specialist. And what I want to do is broaden the duties of that event specialist, who that position is currently unfilled, to as a recreation specialist. They will still handle.
I asked last month, how many kids are we looking at? I mean, how many kids are we servicing right now in our programs as far as the library? How many events are we having? You know, my thing is $46,000, that could be another policeman that we desperately need. You know, we spent the money on the parks, the splash pad, and you know, one day we'll get that done. I'm not saying that we don't need it. You know, how many kids are we talking about servicing over the summer? Say, for example, this time next year, how many kids do we have in Cleveland that, what type of activities will we have? All the kids are in school now. They're in band, volleyball, football, baseball. I mean, how many kids do we have this? What would that recreation specialist have to do this time of year? Next year?
Yeah.
I just want some information on it. You know, you just show me that it's needed. I mean, it looks good on paper that we have this, and this, and all these committees, but how many kids do we have that, you know? And I can't get an answer on that.
It's hard to define the number of kids because we're actually going to service outside of the area. So this originally came from EDC, and they wanted to make sure that we're using the park to its best abilities at the sports park. So I really need somebody that has experience in team play as far as softball, baseball, that can handle, somebody that has kinesiology degree, somebody has some experience in handling those parts of the operation. So the idea is you'd serve more than just the kids of Cleveland. You would serve the area and you would generate activity at our sports park, basically sports park tourism And that would help indirectly with sales tax, the use of the park, and ultimately that's where we're going. That person would also help with the events that are happening at the Civic Center.
How many events are we having at the Civic Center? That's what I don't.
You could have,
I think it's a full time. I mean, during the winter,
What would that person be doing now? I mean.
so you would have, like, you'd have everything from bridal extravaganzas to maybe Comic-Con. So anything that you could hold, or a boat show, anything of that nature, so that person would handle the events at the Civic Center, as well as organized sports, and then possibly branch out.
That's what we got this for.
Mayor, if I may say something, the bridal event, that, we've already been doing that. They've been doing that for a while. I think what we need to do is to actually just sit down and make a plan to see how will we service these people in that area. Because we have people at the Civic Center now. It doesn't take a person with expertise to do baseball. And we've had the CYBA, they've done a phenomenal job with the baseball. So I don't know, I don't know how we could add other things in. We're in a different area here, and I do understand that we do need things to do, but we need to start out putting on events first, just to see how the people, because the people really don't come out for anything, but we do need something for the people to do. But we just gotta sit down with a plan. I think we need to sit down with a plan before we add this to,
I tell you what we can do is we can hold on this position and let the Recreation Committee get together and discuss and come back with options. It may be that we don't need the position. That's kind of what the committee's for. So maybe we go that route.
yeah.
use it in another area.
You know,
If we keep it in.
And get input from the people that are already at the Civic Center as well. So that way you can collaborate together and see what ideas they have as well.
because so many events that we put on, the city put on, I don't see the kids. I'm like, where are all the kids? And that's at church functions and everything. I'm coming, where, you know, we gotta figure out how many kids we have and identify these kids. Yeah, well, I'm talking about the city limits, that's what I'm talking about. You know, and not to say that, you know, we might actually need it, but I just wanna see it justified on paper. This is what we spending this money on.
Well, Mr. Lee, why don't you put out a poll to see what we have, so then Mr. Pendleton will know what we gotta go for, since he's not from Cleveland.
Let me be quiet.
No, okay.
I'm not gonna address.
Well, I think what Bobby's saying, Dolores, is if we keep it in there, we don't necessarily have to spend it on somebody. We make it use.
Right.
And
I don't
use
see
it
nothing
to-
wrong with having this department, but I'm just saying, since Bobby's not from Cleveland, Mr. Lee is, if he put out a poll to see how many kids we have and what they would like to come back into Cleveland, then Bobby will have something to work with.
Well,
I can't answer that. I'm not.
Mayor, can I say
Go
something?
ahead.
Bobby, let me make sure I understand this. I think what you're trying to tell us, or what I'm getting out of it, is that this includes all events, not just events for children. This is any kind of event that will bring people to our town to participate and hopefully spend the night and stay over, increasing revenue quite a lot. That's what I'm getting from it. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. All ages. We're
Okay.
talking senior citizens to the
Right.
kids.
Yeah, and
Kids in beds.
that's what we need in the worst way. I agree with that. We need to have that.
So what are the people, so that's what the people at the Civic Center is for.
Yeah, marketing and tourism, isn't that their job?
Well,
And we don't have any tourism in Cleveland. There's nobody coming to Cleveland to tour anything. The closest thing to touring it's probably the bike and ride or whatever.
Yeah.
But we don't have any tours. We don't have any tourists in here. That's
Well,
nothing.
well, maybe that's what this person could do and make happen. Maybe if we get someone with this specific experience,
Well, I
then
can
they
see-
could bring some of that in. And once we get started with that, I think it'd be no stopping it. I've been and we all have been wanting to see this happen for years and years.
But you gotta have something for the people to want to see, to come here.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what would happen.
We're
That's
working
what
on.
they could bring.
Yes, we're working on the train depot, that's one attraction, but we have to get some attraction in here if you want to draw the people. No one wants to come here to see grass above their legs and no paint on a building. You got to get things together first.
With that kind of money on a on an every year occurs, I think we put that on fixing some potholes or hiring another police officer, because that's really,
Put it towards the depot.
yeah.
I mean,
Right now, I just don't see a need for that. And you can check my record, I've worked hands-on with kids here in Cleveland for about 35 years. That's on record, hands-on. So.
We can definitely hold on the program and see how it goes. Let's, once the recreation committee forms, and I think we go that route and just, we'll hold on it.
Thank you, Bobby.
everybody
You're
agree with that?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes, sir.
Dan?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. But I mean, I feel like we can, if we don't use it on person, we can put it to use somewhere, like I say, either another policeman or another public works or somebody to pick up the trash or whatever.
But I'm not saying just throw that idea in the trash, ball it up and throw it in the trash. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is let's start from the ground up. Let's see how many kids we got. Let's identify the few that we have, and let's grow it from the ground up. And then once we get the involvement in it to where we can say, look, we got 300 kids that involved in our summer programs, that involved in weekend programs. But we don't even know how many kids we even have. And I don't think it's my job to go out and identify these kids. I mean,
If we put a lazy river, if we built a lazy river around Cleveland, then we might need.
but it's our job to approve the budget and debate on it.
Danny, I'm not understanding what you mean by identify the kids and how many kids we have.
How many kids do we have that are involved in our summer programs that we have now? How many kids do we have?
And I think, Carolyn, I'd like for somebody to, if we did this, that they could come and tell us what they're gonna do
Right.
to.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That would happen, of course. But we've got 10,000 kids in our school system. So that gives us a starting point of some kids that we could get involved that maybe are not involved now, if we have the right kind of programs. I mean, it's a kind of a chicken and egg thing.
If you look at the 10,000, well, I'm not gonna even look.
No, don't say that.
How many kids that we have are not involved in volleyball, or baseball, football? You look at our record. I attend these games. We playing these big 6A schools that, they got 5,000 kids involved. We got 10,000 kids, but we might have 700 or 800 of them involved. That's my point. Just look at our records, on our sports team. There's nothing against the coaches. We just don't have the numbers that participate. We have the numbers, but we don't have the numbers that participate.
Yeah, and I think we have to look at and see what attracts the students or the kids. Most of them spend their time in the rooms, on their computers, on their phones. So we just have to find out what really attracts them, what we can do to accommodate them. But right now, I just don't think we.
I just don't see it year round though, paying someone that, I can see it at times, but I can see it year round. I mean, we can keep it, I think keep it in there, Carolyn. And if we see other places we can use it, we can use it somewhere else. If we don't necessarily think we need to hire a person, unless we can get somebody to come up here to sell us and say, hey, I can bring these people in here, or these.
Right, that's a good idea. Yeah,
I think we need to keep it just more for everybody, not just say kids, Danny, but.
Yeah.
no, yeah, I'm talking,
It was that we hired at times the retail coach.
Yeah.
They gonna do all this from us,
Yeah.
and we still waiting on one bite. You know, they just came and took our money.
and that was a hard lesson learned, but you're right about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to see events planned for everyone in town, not just our children, but every age group. I think that would be something we've needed for a long, long time. However, we need to get there. I would like to see it happen. But I agree, just.
Send out a,
You know, most of the events we do, Carolyn, or at least I know, we all pay for whatever we.
I would say send out a new poll.
I tell you what, maybe the best solution here is that we revisit this once we have the pavilion and the depot project complete. And there we could hold small events, group workouts, that kind of thing from that location.
Yes, and that'll be part of the attraction.
That's
What do
good.
you think, Carolyn?
Yeah, that sounds good. That's always been the issue here, is to find something that people would truly be interested in enough to come to our city, or the people that live here, get them interested enough to attend. That I would love to find the place.
Dairy Day was the biggest thing we all went out.
Exactly right. I
And I
agree.
think that's where we can begin that, is starting a festival or event, that's something that sort of marks our territory. We don't even have that,
We
so.
wouldn't need somebody year round to.
Right. And some of the events that we have, like the Christmas Fair, you know, back when in the day, when they had Dairy Day, that was like Christmas for us. I mean, they let school out and everybody would go to the carnival and.
It was huge.
Even have a carnival. I mean, that was the talk of Cleveland. But now the St. Jacinta Fair over in Cold Spring, that's still a big deal.
Yeah.
Because our stuff is just no nothing.
And you know what, and I think we should have started off with the food trucks, downtown area. And then once it growed and people noticed it, then moved it to the Stanford Park area. I think if people saw it, I know a lot of people probably know now, but there's still a lot of people who don't know. And I think that would have been a great idea. You'd see movement downtown, and people that are passing through would see it as well. And that could have been the beginning of a annual festival or something. And once it grows so huge, and then you could have moved it out into the Stanford Park area. But that would have been a great start. It still can be a great start to start having activities. Add a band, I'm sorry, and add a band in there as well to bring attraction. You know, people love music. So I think that would be, we just need to come up with some creative recreational things for, as Carolyn and Danny said, for all the people.
But you know, the potential is there. The potential is there. You know, because there are a lot of possibilities. The potential is there. And I'm gonna say another thing about this budget. You know, this is my 6th year. And looking at this budget and looking at the budget 6 years ago, we've come a long way. I mean, you know, this discussion about hiring a recreation director, that wasn't even on the table. So, you know, we definitely making progress, you know, but we have to have these discussions and debates on what we need and what we don't need. And we have to have, you know, people checking each other, because I don't have all the answers. All I'm doing is speaking my mind. And I'm doing that because I want us to do our best job to spend our money wisely. You know, I'm not trying to cut nobody down or cut nobody off or nothing. But, we just have to try to spend this money as wisely as we can because we can always use more police. We can always fix some streets. We can't do nothing else. We can always do that.
May I say something about these events?
Go ahead.
We need to somehow come up with a remarketing of the city to have like a strawberry festival or watermelon festival. Since we're moving everything on Peach Street, why don't we create an annual peach festival for people to come to every year? It seems like you want to talk about these events, but it takes a lot of money to put them on. We can get it done, but we need an annual event for like an annual quilt show for people to come to.
Right.
You need a food festival. We have that. We got the food truck started. But if we can have a designated, let's have a peach festival every year, you know, and because we have Peach Street, all of our government, everything is on Peach Street. Everybody knows Peach Street. So let's market ourselves for a peach festival.
Well,
That's
I think what you're saying,
it.
James, but I think what we're saying, do you want to pay somebody $60,000 a year? You may be talking one or two, you know.
Pay someone $60,000 a year to do what?
If you hired the recreation specialist. This is what we're debating is what is it, 62,000?
Well,
Yeah, that's,
yeah, paying somebody and actually having somebody come up and can create the event and handle it is two different sections. I mean, but we do have to have something for these folks to stop in the town and stay instead of passing through.
But you can use the money to advertise, so like, say in Peach Street, you can use hot money, hotel tax money on that, right?
Oh, sure. Sure, there's a lot, we
Yeah.
can find lots of money to throw festivals.
Yeah, but the festivals and stuff that we have now, they're not well attended. Just like with the dairy. What happened? Is it advertisement?
Yes.
I don't know what's.
Well, I just think we've gone from a dairy or a farmer type city to
It's, we have the bike ride, the Christmas fest.
but that's chamber, more or less, which we donate to the
Yeah,
chamber.
it don't be attended like it should be. Some people come. I don't see a whole lot.
You just have to look at you in a different area and you have to get something to attract the people. And they say they advertise, but for some reason, you still have people say that they didn't hear about it. So
Yeah, it's hard to get the word out for some reason. You're right, Marilyn.
Well, and right now with the COVID, we don't know where we're gonna be in 2 or 3 months. I mean,
That's true. That's true.
But look how many times we have tried to get the word out and then still the community doesn't come participate,
Yeah, that's
no
true
matter
too.
how much you try to. That's been our biggest trouble for many years is trying to
Yeah.
get it's the same people that come out all the time and we don't have
Mhm.
a lot of new faces to come out to our events because they're just not exciting enough for the people.
Yeah, all of that is true. We'll just have to keep working till we can figure it out.
Are we agreed to leave that money and use it if we have to use it towards the depot or something else, Danny, or put it somewhere else?
I say
Yeah.
put it on the depot or fixing an extra street. Because those 21 streets that we so-called repaved, I mean, you probably could put another 21 in there. It's just, but we doing good, we doing better. I see a lot of improvement, got a lot of positives,
Yeah, and we've got to do the things the city's we're elected to do, you know, streets, sewer, water, fire department, police department.
And we
This
take-
other stuff is after the fact, you know, I mean, and I'm not knocking it, we need it all, but,
And also in this budget, we'll be taking care of our employees as far as the cost of living raises and insurance. We're taking care of our police department and fire department, so, I think I see a lot of positives. You know,
I think the priorities are first, but if we could do that item, I would like to go to item number 5, which is the Camel Park rehabilitation.
the Campbell Park,
Yes,
How
sir.
much is on that?
Is that the splash pad? Or is this just doing?
Item 5,
yes.
Yes. And my question is this a splash pad, or is this just, underneath it, I see park equipment, but is this just a splash pad, or is this including new
Splash pad.
benches, or?
Splash pad's already funded, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
correct. The
That's
splash
not-
pad,
And that's not in that, right?
No.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, and I want to ask this question, have the rest of the council sort of went out and looked at the beginning of the splash pad? And my question to that is, I
Yes.
noticed it's not the full pool, Bobby, is it just that half a portion or that little portion that they did? Is that gonna be the complete splash pad? Because it's.
that's
very-
correct.
That's the whole
It
splash.
was only half. And then
That's
we want
very
to, we plan on doing the other half as a area that maybe some other recreation type activity, like a putt course, or we may have some park equipment, some swings there. But we plan on having other amenities on the pool. We thought it was really unique to actually have the splash pad in the footprint of the pool because you already have the plumbing there. And basically you're rehabbing what you have. We have money set aside in this year's budget in Campbell Park to handle upgrading the bathrooms and upgrading the park. And that was kind of the thought that we were left with last week, is that we really focus on that park. And the next year we would take care of our other parks.
So-
Yeah,
Okay.
it just looked real small as far as a splash pad. But, and I hear you saying to incorporate something else with that, but I don't think a putt, is that where you have to have felt on the ground? I mean, like a little grass thing? I just don't think that would go with the splash pad, not that close to it anyway. But that's a good idea to have that, but not in that same pool area.
Well, I think you need picnic tables and stuff around for like the mothers and that go and carry their little kids and can watch what's going on at splash pad around that area.
So that's.
Yeah, the idea is we would ask the experts what would be a good accommodation for next to the splash pad.
Yeah, to see what else could go there.
Yeah, that's good.
That putt thing to go there.
So this $100,000, that's gonna go on the extra sprucing up with Campbell Park.
Well, I know
Yes,
that-
it's quite a bit of money. It's quite a bit of money, but Campbell Park needs some serious
Right.
rehabilitation.
And
Yes.
so that's another addition of making something attractive for people to come to. So if you focus on that one area first, a walking trail, new benches, maybe even some little logos or quotes or something on the wood thing. We saw this somewhere. I think it was at gosh, it was somewhere. But anyway, I don't know if the Boy Scouts or somebody did this, but just
Well,
focus on making it look real nice.
Yeah, a lot of this, Marilyn, I want the people we put on the parks for to come back with different suggestions for us to do.
And this here, this is great, spending this money on our park. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, we
Because
need
we
to.
know-
Yeah, because we need,
When we put that, when we spend that money, we know where that money is going. We know the kids gonna be out
and
there.
the people appreciate it.
And if we need to put some over in in the old city park.
Yeah.
It's good, good
Yeah.
sort of ragged. I mean, we can spend it,
Yes.
Thank you.
Leslie, anything else? Go.
Those are not for me.
So you got what you need to get this taken care of? Bobby, have you got anything to say about it?
I'd like to let y'all know that I have been in contact with Frank Brooks today and told him how important it is that we move forward on the paving. And he told me, yeah, we're getting it done. So I'm hoping to hear back from him soon on moving forward. He did ask me about some boring and who we use. So we discussed that a little bit today. But he knows time is of the essence that we move and get these streets repaved. And he feels like we can get all of them on the list now that need paving, and then possibly come back and do the other ones with that have the water lines. So there may be some different options on how we tackle it, but it's possible we can get everything done on the list.
Right. That's good news.
Good.
Well, I like that.
Okay,
That's
we're
great.
ready.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else have anything on the agenda? I mean, God, the budget.
I just wanted to let council know the next meeting is September the 14th. That'll be the public hearing on the proposed, that'll be the public hearing on the proposed budget and the public hearing on the tax rate. And then after that, we will be adopting the budget. Council will have that option to adopt the budget after those two meetings. So that'll be it'll be at 6 p.m. On the 14th.
What time?
At 6 p.m. We have to put those in the newspaper 30 days in advance, so.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
I want everybody to take pride in the fact that we're actually lowering the tax. We're doing all this, and we're
Yeah.
lowering the taxes by half cent. And we will continue to figure out ways to lower the tax rate for the citizens of Cleveland.
Thank you, Bobby, for your hard work and all your team. You've really done an outstanding job on this. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I think this is a wonderful council to be working with, and I believe we all want to see the right kind of growth and the right kind of changes. And I think we're all there. We all see what we need to get done.
I think so too. Thanks.
I agree. We don't need an executive session. We have to take no action, so I get a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Marilyn made the motion, Danny seconded. Any other talk or discussion? Let's adjourn. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Feel better.
You good?
Feel better, Bobby.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.